Hello, everyone. This is Jenna Ryan, your self-love life coach. And today I'm going to talk to you about something that may have, for the moment, a negative connotation. And I really prefer to be positive as much as possible. But sometimes, in order to see the positive, we really have to glance and look and examine and analyze the negative. Sometimes to understand truth, we have to see the opposite of truth. And we have to see the ways in our life in which truth is being extracted. So what we're going to talk about today, how am I going to title this? The world will try to smash your special. Or how about the world will try to dim your light? Something along those lines. Maybe it'll come to me as I speak this forth. So basically, I am telling you that the world, that people in the world, that people who seek power over you, that don't have a sense of their own internal worth and power, will try to get power externally. And the power over you, the power that really reigns supreme over you, that controls your life, is your acknowledgement and understanding of how special you are. It is your specialness, it is your beauty, it is your life that's within, it's your truth. I'm trying to say it in a way that doesn't sound cliche. It's difficult because so many pundits have taken these words and overused them. So how do I describe this essence of being? This sense of wonder, this light that shines, this sense of purpose, of becoming, expressing, creating, doing. Okay? This sense of who you are and that you are somebody, that you hold value, that you're worthy to be respected, and that you deserve to be honored or treated as an equal human being at the table with everyone else. Not exalted. I'm not talking about grandiosity. And I'm not talking about exaltation. I'm talking about equality and honor and respect, one for one, on level ground. Because the people that need to gain power in their interaction are people that will try to take, will try to diminish, will try to take away this light, this essence, this being, this specialness, this preciousness, this life force that is within you. And if you begin to look around, I've really been studying in depth inside my own heart and in my own relationships. I've been really studying the power differentials that a lot of the abuse situations, the one-upping, the being hurt from what people are saying, smear campaigns, manipulation, it all stems from power differential and how the person who is coming after you, harming you, disturbing you, is trying to take away your power. And you, or me, in my case, in your case it's you, not realizing that it is your very power, your essence, your life force that is at stake when you entertain situations, people, places, and things that circumvent that life force, that dims that life force, that discards, that denigrates, that puts it down, that casts it off, that discards your preciousness. And I'm talking about your ability to exercise your truth and move forward in this life. There will be those, and I'm sure you've met them. And now that I'm talking about this, you're going to recognize it more. there will be those that try to take over your life force and your life's ambition, your life's goal, beyond the spirituality of, God and all of those things. I'm just talking about from a human perspective. Your goal is to really figure out who you are and what you are on this planet, and that you are valuable and that you are worthy, especially if that was not the lesson that you got early on, whether it was intentional or just generational. So that life force, that happiness, that existence, that exuberance about whatever it is, like you see, something you would like to design and draw as a child, and that is fostered and respected, and that is validated by your parents, then you become more of a living being, and you create these pathways of, oh, I can achieve, I can do this. What I need and what I want to be fully human and fully myself and fully creative is available to me. And I have what it takes. And I am a valuable person. And I'm so valuable that these adult people that I worship as gods, that's what children do, that these adult people who are my gods as a child, they tell me I'm okay. And they tell me it's okay to be. And when you have that kind of experience as a child, you are able to more easily grab hold of your specialness and keep it from being subverted by evil men, evil institutions, evil culture. You are more able to see the truth. You're more able to analyze and see reality for what reality is. Okay, because I'm valuable, I'm fabulous. But if you were subverted in any way as a young child, by the whole philosophy that we've had for hundreds of years or however long of raising children as property, not as human beings that are going to grow up and be productive in society, but children are to be seen and not heard, that their feelings and thoughts don't matter, that they need to stop crying and get out of our way, and they get on our nerves, and thank God they're back to school. Now we can, chill out all day on TikTok or whatever. If you treat a child like that, or if you were treated like that, then that's a subversion of your truth and your specialness. And you got the impression that you are not special. There's nothing special about you. You're not wanted. You're a burden. And your whole life you will spend with those tapes from that negative core belief that is implanted when you had a need to be experienced as welcomed and loved. You had a core development need to be experienced as someone who was wanted, welcome, appreciated, who can express oneself in one's own way without a bunch of mumbo jumbo and a bunch of, manipulation, control, fear, obligation, and guilt from parental figures. You could actually experience life in a whole sense. But if you have a whole sense of, if you were taught that it's not okay to be you, it's not okay to think and feel your own individual thoughts, then you were like captured. And mentally you become captured in your own prison, your own mental prison. And then you're in this body, this flesh and your mind, and you're just trapped. You're trapped in these constant thoughts that tell you, no, I shouldn't do that. No, I can't do that. No, I can't. No, I'm not able. No, I'm not capable. No, that's too much. And then all kinds of maladaptive thought processes can occur. And as you get older in life and you get going all throughout, you will encounter people who are more than willing to be your conduit for you. But they're not going to be your conduit of affirmation that you're looking for and seeking and did not receive. They're not going to do that for free. You have to pay a price. And the price is you have to come up under their beliefs and what they need you to be and do. So you have to serve them. And if you don't know who you are and you don't understand your preciousness and your value, then you're really hopeless, because you have to serve them, because you don't know. You don't know what you don't know. What the heck are you going to do? So you end up, you're just wide open. I use the term of a house that a tornado has gone through. You don't have walls. You don't have boundaries. You don't have a door. You don't have windows. Your tub is, down the street. Your toilet is on the other street, and you've got to pull yourself together. And when you're in this condition of being completely vulnerable and out in the open, then you become easy prey for people to come in and tell you who you are. And a lot of people get a kick, get a thrill. They're all about power because they don't understand their own power. And these are very different people than the people that I am speaking to today. And there are different kinds of people who think mentally, emotionally, psychologically differently. There are people that are empaths, who are very empathetic, who have very loose boundaries where they can feel other people's experience because of whatever situation they've been raised in. So they're just overly so sometimes, unless you're empowered, unless you understand the situation, you can be overly empathetic and unable to detach and just all messed up. So you become prey to people who will come in, take your valuable goodies, that valuable goodies being your life force, your will, okay? Take over your will and begin to do several things. One, first of all, is begin to seep out your power. And this happens slowly over time, covertly, where someone will make comments, okay? And you can't even catch them because you don't know who you are. You don't know the specialness that you hold. So you can be around someone for a whole day and they do covert things that you're not really attuned to. And these covert things add up. And you don't realize why you're feeling badly until you look back and you have more awareness and you understand, oh my goodness, those little nags, those little digs that happened today were painful, and they caused me to feel like less of a person today. So tonight, normally when I'm in a great mood and dancing around and, really feeling my full self, normally I'm okay. But after spending the whole day with this person or in this group or at this church, whatever it is that you're dealing with, suddenly and then you start to, if you are aware, you can start to look back and see the ways that you were discounted, that your specialness, that is your equality with everyone else in the room, at the table, that's an analogy, was respected, was honored, was treated equally. But instead, you have these people who will come in and try to take that feeling from you. It's like the saying that says, don't ever let anyone dim your light. They literally want to dim your light. I don't know why. I don't get it. I mean, I have a couple of guesses. One is maybe they get a self-esteem externally. And when they're able to make someone else lower and take away their power, it gives them that sense of power. And then they get to feel better about themselves. So it's more of an insecurity issue. Whatever the case may be in the other person, what matters is within yourself, whether or not you are able to express and be and feel special. And then life, when you're raised in a way that questions your specialness and your fabulous being and your ability to will and to do and have boundaries and say no and have requests and have preferences and have your wants and needs honored and respected and heard be seen, heard, and understood. And you're being raised in this way. And then, what am I saying? Okay, now I just got off track. I closed my eyes. I was really going to town. But anyway, if you don't know who you are, then you will be subverted. And little parts of your energy, your life force, will be seeped out of you. And then you'll get home. And I'm just using this as an example because it might be a year's relationship. It might be 10 years. It might be your whole life. It might be one day. It might be 1 hour. But you feel it when this power is taken from you. You feel it. And I'm not talking about walking around with offense. Okay? I'm not talking about being very sensitive, because as you are healing, you may go through a time of extreme sensitivity, as I did. I'll admit it. I'm imperfect. I did the best I could. I healed the best I could. I could only do so much. And I was always like, okay, well, this is the best I can do. So I healed the best I could. And there was a time when I had to just be overly sensitive about everything. So I'm not talking about oversensitivity. I'm just talking about awareness of people in your midst who desire to put you down. Pretty simple, plain and simple. Put you down. And this could be you have to be careful, because you don't just want to judge everybody across the board. You don't want to just become offended. You want to really understand who you're dealing with and understand that there are people that are different. They're not empathetic like you. They don't have a heart like you have. Okay? That's not your fault. You can't fix them. You can feel sorry for them, but you cannot help them. You cannot heal them. You cannot train them how to treat you, because they are always after one thing, and that is power. And wherever they can get it, and if you're the nearest source, they're going to try to get it. Especially if you have anything going for you, then you're even more prey for this problem. So if you're feeling, wonderful about yourself and you're excited and happy, and this person can't be happy for you, if this person makes comments or ignores you when you win a contest, they ignore you and don't respond to you, whereas normally they're there for you for every problem, or, you don't realize it, but a part of yourself is being leaked out. That is your power. Your power is the ability to block. Your knowledge that you are special, that you are valuable, that you are worthy, and that you are here to will and to do. We're going to talk about that part in just a minute. You are valuable. You are worthy. Knowing that can help you to block any sort of interference with your energy force within, your life force. So you can block it, because you know that anytime you interact with this person who it can be in a look, okay? In child abuse recovery, they talk a lot about the look of the parent, how just a look can destroy a child. A child can look at you a parent can look at a child with disgust. So a look, just, taking your cookies and putting them on the table in the other room instead of, and then displaying their own cookies all over in the front of the buffet for the family. There's just all sorts of ways that people will try to put you at the bottom, put you at the bottom, put you at the end of the line, because you're not good enough. You're not valuable enough. And it's not that you're not good enough, and it's not that you're not valuable enough. It's that you don't know it. It's that you don't, because if you knew it, then you're going to walk like it, talk like it, and you're definitely not going to be in those circles. You're just going to walk. That circle's not even going to be interesting. You're going to be like, ooh, those people don't get me. They don't know who they're talking to. And, you're going to be like, I can't even stand that. I can't even bear to be at a place where I'm not treated equally. We're not talking about grandiosity. We're not talking about special privilege. We're not talking about only, the best people are worthy of your presence. That's more of a narcissistic thing, like a malignant narcissism thing, where the malignant narcissist always wants to be around the movie stars or the high-ranking officials. We're not talking about that. We're talking about just equality. Like whenever you speak, people acknowledge what you say. Like there aren't little negative comments made. There's not any guilt trips put on you. And that's more of the second part with the will. There's not any negative comments. There's just honor. There's credit where credit is due. And just respect where you can't train somebody to be respectful. They either have it or they don't. And if you allow yourself to be in the presence of people that disrespect you, it is dangerous to your entire life force. And your entire life can get off course if you subject yourself to that. Now, people are going to disrespect you, and it doesn't mean you don't want to walk in love towards those people, because we're called to walk in love. So you can be loving, but you don't have to put yourself in the line of fire if they have an issue with power and they're trying to take your power, because that's what they want. You're having a happy day. All they have to do is say one thing and they can get your mind going on a Gordian knot of thoughts. They can get your mind tangled, ruminating, wondering. They can get you to feel like crap. They can get you to run to the store because you feel like your clothes are ugly. They can get you to just feel badly, feel a sense of shame. They can trigger your shame by treating you disrespectfully. They can trigger your shame because maybe you were treated disrespectfully when you were little, and then as an adult, they, say little things. They can't say something nice. They can't tell you that your voice is great. They have to make fun of the fact that you can't hit a note. Okay? So these people can't feel it within themselves, and they, instead of working on themselves to find their own specialness, their own power, they get it from others. They don't do insight. They don't go inside, and they don't do insight, and they only suck the energy, suck the power of those around them. And there we have energy vampires. Okay, so it's not only energy, but it's also manipulation and control. And that's where we talk about the will. Because people that are putting you down like that are grooming you, essentially. Grooming you to stay in that subverted position, that one down position, where everything's a power play, where everything is like a game of pinochle. And they're constantly trying to get you under your thumb, and you're constantly trying to stay out of their thumb, and you think you're winning, and then they get you right in the gut. So this place, I define it as the solar plexus. And the reason I use that term is not because I'm into necessarily the chakras. I do find a lot of value in the concept of the chakras, just in the process of me building myself from the ground floor up and not having a self and having to build one. And the chakra is a great way for me to visualize and understand the different aspects of self. So the solar plexus chakra is the one that's right in your gut, and it represents your will to do, to exert, to do, to get something done, to get up, to make things happen. Okay, the toxic person who wants to take away your power is actually trying to get to this center core of you, so that they can begin using you like a puppet to do their bidding, to do their will, to always be available if they need a nice ego boost. If you don't have any understanding of any of these things, then you can be their ego boost and you don't even know it, and you will be subtracted and they will be added, and you will not even realize it, and you'll blame yourself, and then you'll experience shame, and then you'll collapse. And then you'll be like, I don't want to get out of bed. I feel like crap. I can't do it. Because it seeps away your power. So the goal is to hold on to your power. And the goal is to really define your truth, define who you are, define what you want, and start to watch how every time you exercise that solar plexus, that place within that says, I want to do this, God could be speaking to you to do this, that, and the other, and you're moving forward to do that. And just watch it. You got to watch it to understand what I'm saying. So then you have people that they want to be in that position. And the true game of pinochle is won when they are above you and they are actually literally controlling your life. I've had many, many clients on this channel, many listeners who are in situations like this where they're literally under someone's thumb and their will is not their own. They can't do their own thing. They feel stuck. They can't go. They can't get out. They can't protect themselves. And so their energy is just constantly being drained. And then it's just a constant soup, a constant stirring of negative emotion towards the self because you're not tapped in, tuned in, turned on to that specialness that's within, to the aspect of life, to the liberty, to the pursuit of happiness within. You don't have that because it's been taken in some sort of relational dynamic. And now you're an adult, so you can free yourself up. And it's hard to do, but you can do it. And you just have to start saying no. You have to start making moves on your own behalf. You have to start doing things on your own behalf and doing them just because you darn well want to do them. And I'm not talking about, crazy things, y'all. I'm talking about just like literally, I want to go on a trip and I really want to do this. And then everything inside of you says you can't, no, don't, this, that, and the other. And you're like, well, I really want to fulfill this will of mine outside of anyone else's suggestions, outside of anyone else's recommendation. Okay. Now, when you're married and everything, you have, a combined solar plexus and whatnot. You want to submit and things to each other and cooperate. But I'm just talking about little things. It could be, I want to go to the store and get flowers. And then if you are doing that already, then recognize that that's what you're doing. And then I want you to recognize intricately when that is being lopped off, when that's your shine, that's your due, that's your specialness, that's your aliveness, that's your being, when that is being snuffed out. And watch who's around you and watch what they're saying, especially because once you can start seeing it, it's so covert. It could be a compliment. A compliment can denigrate you. A compliment can bring you down if it's said with skill from someone who's very skilled at taking the power of others away and using it for their own whatever, jollies. I personally don't get any power out of seeing someone else feel bad. But there are people out there who literally get their jollies, whatever you want to call it. That's how they feel better. Like because they don't feel good. So they have to tear and claw and put you in your place and put their thumb over you. And they have to have control over you. And they want to know that, if your actions are being in line with what their will is and you're doing what they want, that gives them this sense of power. It gives your power away. So there's many ways to give your power away, and this is one of the most essential. So you have to stand up. You have to have a backbone. You have to be firm, and you have to know what's going on. And know if you have this pattern that you maybe pray to people who will use your naivete, the lack of knowledge that you have about this, because, it takes a lot of years to learn all this. So they'll use your naivete and use it and abuse it, and pretty soon you will be powerless. And you'll just be a puppet of someone else's will and their specialness. You'll live out their specialness for them. You'll echo their specialness. You'll repeat it. You'll admire them. You'll give them all the supplies they need to feel good. And what are you? Nothing but a tool. You're a tool. You're not a human. You don't have that life force. The life force, every time it dares to poke its head out, it's snuffed out because this person, whomever it is, that has the opposite kind of personality, snuffs it out, puts you down. makes you feel less than. So nobody can make you feel any way, but if you allow yourself to be put in positions where little things happen that kind of, I can't use direct examples, because if I were to use direct examples, I would be sharing too much of my life. So sorry, I have to speak in broad generalities because I can't give specifics. So I wish I could give specifics, but they're so intricate that if you'll just listen to my words, I think this will get into your mind and you'll start looking and seeing. And everybody knows, I've heard millions of people talk about, all over TikTok, people are talking about, people that put them down. Like if you're going on a date and a guy wants you to come to his house on the first date. Okay. That is disrespect of the highest order. No. Okay. No, you don't. Do you see? It feels off. It's like, I'm not going to, what? Okay. So it's that I'm trying to groom you to be a disrespected person in my life that I can, use for my benefit. And so they will try to squash your special. And when they do, they've got you. And when they do, and you discover it and you are aware of it, then you've got to untangle. And you've got to begin to come back into your specialness or greet your specialness for the first time. Come in alignment with who you are and begin to realize little by little, it does not happen overnight. And you have a lot of pain that's in the way that you have to feel first many times. But then once you're ready, you can stand up and go, wait a minute. No, I don't think so. I don't think I'll be coming to your house on the first date. Or whatever it is that makes you feel respected and appreciated and heard and seen and understood, whatever the standards are that you have for yourself. And you make sure that everyone honors that. And if they're unable to treat you in equality with the level of respect and specialness that you have, not over them. We're not talking about you're higher than anyone. We're talking about special as in I don't even need to be higher than anyone because that would be foolishness. I'm equal. And I love my neighbor as myself. And I love my God. And I'm special and I'm just fine. And, as long as we all know that, then we're cool. Then you can relate and you can have great relationships and you can share. If you feel disappointed, then you can share and you feel the other person is open and concerned about feelings. Your feelings matter and they want to be there for you and you want to be there for them. And it's beautiful. And there's no game of what I just pinochle. Pinochle is gone. And you're just human and you're alive and you're living and you're special and you know it. And then when you're living and you're doing it and it's great and you're willing things and you're making things happen. And then there'll be somebody coming in and trying to throw paint on you and take away your beauty and specialness and draw you down and pull you down. And then it becomes a muscle. I am special. And none of these smear campaigners none of these flying monkeys are going to bring me down. Not today, Satan. Not today. You will not. Because I'm special. And I know I'm special. And I know that I am capable. And I know I'm strong. And I know what you're trying to do. And you're just not going to take my joy for today. Okay? And then the stronger you get, the more people will come. And then you get to use your muscle. And I'm not saying it's easy, but I am saying that to be aware that there are people. Okay, what I want you to know is sometimes you're feeling bad, not because you deserve it, not because you're worthless, not because you think you're bad. It's because you are around people that are not denigrating you. You're allowing yourself to be around people that are putting you down. You're allowing yourself to be captured by people that are using you and your energy for their interests, for their purposes. And you're not moving and operating individually. You're being someone's tool. A tool does not feel good. It does not feel good to be a tool. It does not feel good to be an extension of someone else's existence. What feels amazing and right is whenever you're able to move within your own experience and you're able to live out your own worth and feel your own worth and protect yourself and guard yourself and stand up for yourself and speak and be and experience wholeness and fullness and joy and go to the next level and grow. That's what feels amazing. So if you are feeling negative and bad and sad, I have learned to begin to connect the dots. Connect the dots. Why am I feeling bad? What is going on? Is this leftover stuff? Is this archaic emotion that's stopped up in me that needs to be released and grieved and felt and followed through and journaled about? Or did I just experience a situation where I was put down all day in covert ways? And if so, what ways was I put down? What happened? I'm confused. I want to know. And then you began to untangle and unfold and figure out what it is. And then you can go, okay, I lost a little bit of my special. Right there. I lost some of my feeling of being special and unique and valuable and honorable. And I began to look at my exterior and feel like I was, I'm just a horrible person. And now I'm like, oh, okay. Now that you kind of open your eyes and become aware, you can say, oh, it wasn't my, the pimple on my cheek. It wasn't because my feet are too big. It was because I allowed myself to be in an environment without awareness and without protection, in the environment of someone who was consciously or subconsciously out to take away my power so that they could use it for themselves, and they took it. And damn it, I got to get it back. And then you just begin to go and listen to some of my audios and say, okay, I'm special. I'm beautiful. I'm amazing. I know I'm good enough. I know I'm worthy. I know I'm valuable. And I reclaim my special preciousness. And I choose to operate and walk out the things that I need to do, that I'm going to get done. And I'm in control of my life. And nobody can have me because it's about me living this life. And I can relate with you, but you cannot have my entire essence. I will hold fast to this. And I'm no longer in a tornado. I am now in a firm foundation with a nice house, a nice sense of self. And I can just, open the door and let you in. And if I don't like you, I can put you out because you don't belong here. And if you don't like that, then you can go complain somewhere else because this is my house and I have alarms and I have all sorts of things to keep you out. So that is what I have to say to you today, my self-lovies. Thank you so much for listening. And if you can't tell, I have been doing a lot of audios. I'm going to work on building up the channel a little bit because I just want to do that because right now I'm in a position where I just can do this. And this is the way that I can express myself the best right now. So here you go. I hope you guys appreciate it. And I hope you learn from it. And I hope you leave comments. And I hope it means something because it's really hard to talk in these broad generalities and get my point across in a way that's meaningful without being overly specific. So that is what I have to say today. Thank you so much, everyone. Talk to you soon. Bye.